Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I'm glad you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, the good news to AZIMIO is that ICC has confirmed receiving the case from Raila Amolo Odinga. Actually, receiving the case from AZIMIO One Kenya Alliance about the injustices that were committed during the peaceful demonstration. And this case is targeted at individual police and also Icc Karim. So before we give a breakdown of this case, because we've noticed that there are some the issues that ICC will address, but there are issues which will cause some little challenge of this case. But then there is the hope part of this case to AZIMIO. So first, let us listen into something regarding this case.
Let's get to some politics now. Well, the Office of the Prosecutor at the International Criminal Court has confirmed the receipt of the petition by AZIMIO La Umoja One Kenya Party to investigate the conduct of the police during the anti-government protests. NTV has learned that the confirmation of the receipt of the letter by the prosecutor does not necessarily imply that the court will investigate AZIMIO's claims.
The International Criminal Court has officially received the request by AZIMIO La Umoja One Kenya Party to investigate the conduct of the police during the protests staged by the party, a week after AZIMIO wrote to the court seeking its intervention. In their letter, AZIMIO cited Article 7 of the Rome Statute, saying the police, under the instruction of the Inspector General of Police JAPHET KOOME, orchestrated and executed a systemic attack on protesters and also the banning of protests, a right protected by the Constitution. However, the International Court's procedure dictates that the prosecutor Karim will decide whether to proceed to investigate AZIMIO's claims after a thorough analysis, which must also be investigated by local authorities, which in this case are the ones being accused by AZIMIO as contravening international law. At the moment, the Office of the Prosecutor has declined to comment on the next course of action, but should Karim decide that the Inspector General of Police is culpable as per AZIMIO's claims of crimes against humanity, then the ICC would issue a warrant of arrest for the IG and other suspects, and Kenya, being a signatory to the Rome Statute, must execute ICC's warrant of arrest. The court also has to independently investigate AZIMIO's claims before it even arrives at the issuance of an arrest warrant, and this, the court says, takes time.
Yes, that is enough indication that the case has been confirmed by the ICC. So let me take you through this case. But before I do that, please, if you're a first-time viewer or a regular viewer who has not subscribed to this channel, please consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it, giving this video a like, and also you can hit the notification bell so that every time we upload such videos, you will always become the first person to get notified. So now, on to this issue of ICC. So the case. Raila Odinga, through his lawyer, wrote to the International Criminal Court calling for the investigation into the conduct of the police during AZIMIO La Umoja demos, and Raila claimed the Inspector General of Police, JAPHET KOOME, gave his express orders to the police to kill and maim anti-government protests. That was the genesis of this ICC case. And then KOOME reacted. KOOME rubbished the claims, saying he will not be cowed not to dispense its duties to all Kenyans as required by the law. He said he will still use the tear gas because we Kenyans bought the tear gas for him to use. ICC courts have confirmed receiving the letter, but the ICC court's procedures dictate that the prosecutor Karim will decide whether to investigate AZIMIO La Umoja's claims after a thorough analysis, which must also be investigated by local authorities, which in this case are the ones being accused by AZIMIO as contravening international law and working in cahoots with the government of the day. At the moment, the office of the prosecutor has declined to comment on the next course of action, but should the prosecutor decide that the IG or police is culpable as per AZIMIO's claims of crimes against humanity, then the ICC would issue a warrant of arrest against the IG and other suspects who are named in that letter. Hope. So AZIMIO's hope lies in Article 37 of the Rome Statute. That is where AZIMIO's hope lies in. Article 37 of the Rome Statute is the only hope that AZIMIO and AZIMIO team have, because that was grossly violated and is available in the public domain. Article 37 dictates that assembly, demonstration, picketing, and petition of every person is allowed, should be allowed by the law, peacefully, peaceably, and unarmed, to assemble, to demonstrate, to picket, and to present petitions to public authorities. That should be allowed by any country that have signed in to this Rome Statute. So according to AZIMIO and most civil society groups, that article was grossly violated, especially by the police, who threw tear gas at the vehicle that had the journalist. You remember seeing that video? We shared it in our previous analysis, but that video where that police throws a tear gas inside a vehicle that is carrying police, and also you saw that vehicle that had bullets, the vehicle that was allegedly one that carried Raila Odinga had bullets. So all those things will be investigated. So what the courts have said going forward is that first, Karim Khan must first of all give a nod. But even if Karim Khan gives a nod, the local authorities here in Kenya must investigate this issue extensively and say that actually the gross violation was committed by the police. So that's where it all becomes interesting, that the people who are accused are the ones who are going to investigate this issue locally, and then probably submit a report to the prosecutor internationally so that they can carry out their extensive investigation. So how is it possible for that to happen? Who was supposed to investigate this matter? The police, the DCI, DPP? Do you think they are going to work with the ICC on this issue? I think that is where the problem now lies with this issue, especially because it requires that the DCI to investigate their own police so that they can forward a report to the international community that it indeed IG is culpable of this report. So that is where it becomes quite interesting, ladies and gentlemen. How is the DCI going to do that? How is the DPP going to submit such a report to Mr. Karim Khan of the ICC? You see, going by the history, Karim Khan was a counsel that represented William Ruto at The Hague. And you know the position that William Ruto holds in this country right now? That is available. So how is it going to be executed, this issue? This is now where it becomes quite interesting, because how will Karim Khan now say, I need Mr. IG KOOME here? Of course, he made such utterances that are not good from a leader. The utterances that he made, first was to ban the demonstration, which was peaceful. Second was to weigh in on police, to beat people in AZIMIO, because the threats which they issued in the media already is in our user. That threat that we will deal with you. Of course, also the threat on Raila Odinga's life also shows that there was a plan, and how this thing was executed also indicates that there could have been a deliberate plan, an elaborate plan to have it executed. Because if I take you back to that last demonstration, it was quite peaceful, no mayhem, no theft, in fact very peaceful. But then somewhere along the way, they had to spoil this maandamano by cutting the link between the leaders Mbele and then huku nyuma the demonstrators, so they were separated. So the part where this execution was done was in the where the motorcade of Raila Amolo Odinga was in, especially that's where also the journalists were in. So that is where this mayhem was caused, and you see what happened, and it's available. The pictures have circulated online everywhere. So this, if this ICC decides to use this picture, then I think kutakuwa na kesi hapa. Also, if the ICC decide to go to Kisumu and look at that incident where police alikanyagwa and then they claim on the demonstrators, also there will be a case. If they go to issue area like Kitale whereby hakuna demonstrators but tear gas were thrown anywhere, then that means the ICC might want to lay some claim on the police, because why were they throwing tear gas where watu hawako? So that is also another problem that the IG of police must address. So he is not off the hook, ladies and gentlemen. He is not off the hook. So, ladies and gentlemen, kindly share all to text below the comment section. And once again, I'd like to urge you to please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I have noticed that we have loyal viewers who forget to subscribe. Please just hit that subscribe button. That is the only way you get to help this channel grow in numbers. So, ladies and gentlemen, kindly stay safe, stay blessed until we catch up again in our next analysis.